Islam, because that is a big fight. But at the end of the day, you got a dangerous Charles Oliveira that is waiting to try and regain the world championship, because in a heartbeat, all of it can be gone. I'm not sitting here attempting to coach up Ilia Topuria, tell him where his attention should be. This guy's a world champion. This guy's undefeated, right?
Overall fight.
É uma grande luta. Ele é um grande lutador, mas ele não precisa tomar nada pra ninguém. Quem eu sou, que eu já fiz, fazendo meu grande speakeasy. Essa outra chegou na oportunidade gigantesca. Vamos contra esse cara. Essa é ela.
Ilia Topuria isn't just getting bigger, he's getting dangerous. Daniel Cormier is sounding the alarm with a shredded new physique, and his sights locked on Charles Oliveira. The MMA world is buzzing, and this storm's just getting started. Before Ilia can chase anything bigger, he might have to go through Charles Oliveira first. But there's a bit of concern about his training situation. Daniel Cormier pointed out that Ilia and his team are not fully in sync right now, and with the fight coming up soon, that could be a problem.
Ilia Topuria wants to fight Islam, but needs to get through Charles Oliveira first, especially, guys, when we are hearing that he and his team are kind of going in separate directions just because of the schedule. They said it's no bad blood. I really don't know how, at this point, a month before what will be your opportunity to win a second title, how much effect that will have on Team Topuria.
Amidst the buzz surrounding Topuria's move to lightweight, questions have surfaced about changes in his coaching setup. Some speculated that a shift in camps might disrupt his moment, but Daniel Cormier sees it differently. According to DC, the bond between Topuria and his longtime team runs deeper than any temporary adjustment.
Honestly, if I'm Ilia, I'm still just using those guys, because even if I have to do my training camp with someone else, I know that those guys know me so well that if they can get with me for a week, 2 weeks, we are still so aligned, especially if there's no bad blood. We're still so aligned that we will get through the fight and we will still be able to coexist. Not only coexist, but also we gel, right? This is a team that got this guy from a young man to being 16-0 or 17-0 UFC champion, beating two of the greatest featherweights of all time, right?
After dominating the featherweight division and claiming UFC gold, Ilia Topuria is wasting no time chasing his next target. With his move to 155 confirmed with Charles Oliveira's fight, the Spanish-Georgian powerhouse is leveling up once again, physically and mentally. Ilia Topuria is in amazing shape ahead of his move up to lightweight. With only a few days left in the Charles Oliveira bout, Ilia Topuria just gave fans another reason to get excited. Without saying much, he let his actions do the talking. Ilia Topuria dropped new training footage and tagged Charles Oliveira. After conquering the featherweight division and capturing UFC gold, Ilia Topuria's star power is rising fast. His dominant performances, knockout power, and growing confidence have the MMA world watching his every move. With rumors of another weight jump, Daniel Cormier weighed in on why Topuria is now one of the most talked about fighters in the UFC.
He announced that he was going up to 155. Clearly, because he's such a big star, people will start to talk about him. But ultimately, it was a lot of people talking before, and he didn't have much to say. But lately, Ilia Topuria has had a lot to say. Ilia Topuria is phenomenal. Let's call it what it is. He's a great fighter. He's undefeated. He's a world champion. He knocks people out. He really has become a true star in the UFC and for the UFC. So there's a lot of excitement that surrounds the things that Ilia Topuria does. It was, is he going to fight for the belt right away? Will Islam fight him? They said Islam said no. Will be Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira said no.
As the spotlight intensifies around Ilia Topuria's next move, speculation about his lightweight ambitions continues to grow. With his confidence at an all-time high, Ilia has made it clear that he's no longer interested in tune-up fights or slow climbs. He's aiming straight for the top, and that means chasing a title. Daniel Cormier broke down the situation, pointing out how all conversations right now seem to orbit around Ilia's demands.
But the important thing is all the conversations surround Ilia Topuria right now. Ilia said that he wants a title fight, point blank. He said that he's focusing all of his training, and I'll read the quote, "All of my training is focused on Islam or Charles because I don't see any other opponents. Neither of them seem to dare to fight me. These are symptoms of fear. We all know that, but it's normal. I'd be scared too."
As talks about fighters chasing legacy-defining moments heat up, the discussion isn't just about belts anymore, it's about dominance across multiple weight classes. With names like Ilia Topuria making waves and others already jumping divisions, Chael Sonnen chimed in with his signature blunt take on what truly matters in today's UFC landscape.
I'm gonna change the fact that you are taking on the opponent that you've already agreed to compete with. So if you can win a couple of divisions here, win this championship, and go over here for guys from my age range, it doesn't mean as much. Who's the best? Who can beat up more people than anybody else trying to beat up people at the same time? But it does leave us with a question at 205 pounds.
With Ilia Topuria calling him out publicly and teasing a move to lightweight with now a confirmed fight with Charles, Islam Makhachev was finally asked to respond. While calm and collected, the former lightweight champ made it clear he's heard it all before, and he's ready for anyone willing to step into his once beloved division.
Не знаю, еще столько соперников, и все хотят меня там в первом, во втором раунде финишировать, все говорят об этом, но я же сказал, сделайте 70 килограмм, заходите в клетку и посмотрим, кто кого финиширует там.
There's all these opponents, they all say they want to finish me in the first or second round. I already said, if you can make 155, you can get into the cage, let's talk about it then.
As the buzz around a potential Topuria versus Makhachev showdown continues to grow amid claims to make another weight jump, fans are eager to know how Ilia sees the fight playing out, especially if it hits the mat. When asked directly about the matchup, Ilia didn't back down. He made one of his boldest predictions yet.
My mindset is always the same. I'm always looking to achieve things that no one could. So someone could submit him, I will be the first one to submit him.
Any specific submission?
Now I heard some love from some idiots, but it's gonna happen.
After days of online heat and rising speculation, Islam Makhachev finally clapped back with a scathing tweet of his own, calling out Topuria's resume and questioning his place in the lightweight division. He tweeted, "The difference between me and you, that I cleaned top list in my division, moved to next, but you ran away from two contenders who had consecutive 5 to 9 wins in FW division. You are nobody in LW division, just a big mouth from Spain with nice haircut. Go get one W and we can talk, boy." Islam Makhachev's sharp words didn't go unanswered. Topuria took to Twitter, firing off a brutal message that left no doubt about who it was aimed at. Ilia tweeted, "The difference between you and me is that I am a man and you are a coward. I speak and fight. You talk and hide. Run away far, leaving no trace." With this hostile back and forth, the buzz around Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev has once again reached the top. With both fighters making headlines, Dana White was asked about the fight happening during International Fight Week. He kept it short and simple and refrained from sharing anything solid, knowing well enough that an entirely different fight between Ilia and Charles was underway.
Ilia Islam?
What's that?
Ilia versus Islam?
We'll see. We'll see how it plays out.
As the callouts keep coming and fighters line up to take a shot at him, Islam Makhachev remains unfazed. With talk of knockouts and finishes circling, the former lightweight champ made it clear he's heard it all before and welcomes anyone willing to step up. Islam said, "I don't even know how many opponents are out there. All of them say they want to finish me in the first or second round. Everyone says that, but like I said, make 70 kilograms, step into the cage, and let's see who finishes who in there." The back and forth between Ilia Topuria Topuria and Islam Makhachev is getting louder despite both having different opponents to face. But Islam isn't rushing into anything. He made it clear he's not chasing money or hype. The fight has to mean something first.
Ilia, what do you think? You know, not make sense. I fought with Ilia for what? Not belt, nothing, you know. Money, I have money, I don't need money. I already fight with some of the guys who come from small division, you know. But I'm not saying no. If I clean my division, if people want, if Dana want, why not?
Ilia Topuria isn't chasing easy fights. With talk growing about a potential showdown with Islam Makhachev at welterweight, Topuria shared why this challenge excites him and why he truly believes he can beat the former lightweight king.
Because I really believe that I can beat the current champion, Islam. You can't be a world champion by chance, you know, you have to do things great.
He's a beast.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah.
But I like the competition. And I don't like to be a bully and fight with people that I know 100% that I'm gonna whoop his ass, you know. I like to fight with people that the fans think that it's going to be very competitive.
As more fighters weigh in on the possible clash between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev, Bo Nickal didn't hold back. The decorated wrestler believes Topuria is a real threat and sees a clear path to victory for the undefeated champion.
He wants that fight bad, and I think he can win. And what makes me think that Ilia will do really well against Islam is Volk's first fight with Islam. I'm like, man, I think Ilia's wrestling is way better than Volk's, and obviously you could see how the striking went, and he's been knocked out cold before.
Moving on, while hype continues to build around a potential showdown between Charles and Ilia, Alexander Volkanovski offered a balanced take. Having experienced and witnessed Ilia's power up close, Volk broke down why this could be a dangerous but very calculated fight for both men, especially Charles.
I think Islam's going to be a tough matchup for him because Islam can be quite defensive and safe. I think he's going to know he needs to play it safe with Ilia because he knows Ilia's going to have that puncher's chance. But I just think them later rounds, you know, is going to be very difficult for Ilia. So, but Ilia can, if he puts hands on anyone, like if he traps them, you know, gets them where they don't want to be and lands a nice big shot, it's going to be game over.
Bilal Muhammad shared his thoughts on Charles Oliveira, saying it's unfair how some fighters get big fights without defending their titles much. He feels people ignore his achievements while hyping others. Bilal believes Charles should prove himself more instead of getting top fights just because of his name.
Earn it. Like, we already had to deal with this already. People are already shutting my resume. They're hating on me no matter what. So let him go out there, beat like a Charles Oliveira. Why would it have to be for a title? You vacated your title. You wanted to move up on your own. You didn't want to cut the weight. And it's not like you beat 10, you defended the belt like 10 times at 45.
With Islam Makhachev's possible move to welterweight creating buzz, some are already imagining future matchups against top names who could also step up one day. Coach Javier Mendez discussed the potential of a future clash with Ilia Topuria, noting the unique challenges Ilia could bring if he ever moves up.
But I would, if someone gave me $100,000, but if you're asking me who I would want to win, I'll put Charles. I'll put my money on Charles.
Yeah, that's who you'd want.
Yeah, so that's who I'd want.
Yeah.
But if you give me 100 to make 100, you know, if it's that type of even, like you get 100, you can make 100. I would put Ilia.
Yeah.
He feels he cannot be beaten.
But as the conversation shifted to Ilia's skill set, Mendez didn't hold back. He emphasized that beyond toughness, it's Ilia's technical boxing that truly makes him a unique threat in the division.
It's a tough challenge. He's to me like a Volkanovski type, you know, super tough. So you have to prepare for him. And the thing that's different about him is he has really good boxing. He has really good boxing. I've said it that I think he has the best boxing in the whole division, you know, and I know technical. I'm not saying striking, but boxing on a technical boxing level, he's pretty damn good.
Ilia Topuria's rising stock in the UFC has not only caught the attention of fans, but also fighters from his past rivalries. As Topuria prepares for his biggest challenge yet against Charles Oliveira, some are already speculating about what comes next, including former foe Paddy Pimblett.
It's probably better for me if Ilia wins the belt, lad, because he'll probably call me out. Yeah, that's and then I could just fight him. Well, he might even have to fight KG. But just
Furthermore, Paddy Pimblett, who's had a tense history with Topuria, shared his thoughts on the matchup and hinted that if Ilia wins, a title fight between them could become one of the UFC's biggest showdowns.
Do you think Ilia beats Charles?
I think he might, to be honest. Charles is a bit chinny and he's had about 40 fight. He always gets punched. If he gets him down, I can see him winning. That 10 pounds difference is a big difference. 145 to 155. Charles is like my height. Ilya's like down here. I'm a fan of Charles, so I think I want Charles to win, but probably better for my career if Ilia wins. Me versus Ilia. There's loads of history in it. There's bad blood. Apart from John Jones Aspinall, I think that's the biggest fight the UFC could make.
Even former champion Khabib Nurmagomedov shares his thoughts. He discusses Ilya's size and skills, expressing confidence that if Ilia moves up and defeats Charles, he can make a big impact in the division.
Paid for 155 pounds.
Right,
but if he move up and he beat somebody like Charles Oliveira, of course.
Yeah.
And I
like that.
And I think, you know what I think?
Yeah.
I think he can beat him.
Yeah.
I think he can beat him.
I like Charles.
Before giving his take on the matchup, the MMA guru weighed in on the hype surrounding Ilia Topuria's next move, with Topuria teasing a jump to lightweight and the Charles Oliveira fight gaining momentum online. Guru made it clear fans don't always need a belt to get excited.
You know what? I don't even mind an Ilia Topuria Charles Oliveira in the meantime for a title shot. I think that there's a theory about, you know, if there's a belt on the line, it's much bigger.
Yeah.
But people just love the two names. Don't always have to be a belt on the line. They do this with a BMF belt. But if Ilia Topuria fights Charles Oliveira on a pay-per-view, that's a big deal.
Oh, it's going to be bigger.
They don't need to wait for an interim belt. They don't need to wait for an undisputed. So, yeah. I don't know how he's going to do it lightweight, though. Maybe you can speak on that. He's a smaller guy coming up.
With Ilia Topuria aiming to move up and challenge Islam Makhachev at 155 pounds, the MMA world is buzzing about the potential fight. Many analysts question whether Topuria is ready for such a step, given Islam's elite skills and dominance in the division.
So he wanted to go up and fight Islam Makhachev at 155. And Topuria, you're like, he's in real trouble. Islam looked like Michelangelo sculpted him. You don't fight Islam on 10 days notice. He's as good as he's the most complete fighter on the roster because he submits people. Like he submitted Poirier in the final round. He can also knock you out. He literally does everything. He's one of the best wrestlers in the sport. His top control and his squeeze is insane. And Topuria, you're like, he's in real trouble.
Joe Rogan shares his thoughts on why this fight would be a huge test for Ilia. Joe Rogan discussed Ilia Topuria's jump from featherweight to lightweight for a tough fight, emphasizing how Ilia faced danger but showed incredible skill and heart. He praised Ilia's intelligence, dedication, and flawless technique, which make him a real threat in the division.
And he went up to 155 for that fight. So he's a 45-pounder. And he said, I'll take a fight at 55. He gets head kicked in the first round, and he caught Topuria with the perfect head kick. He got dropped. He scrambled, got a hold of him, neck blasted him against literally slept him, face planted him, and walk-off KO. He's an animal, dude. He's a real problem because he's intelligent, he's dedicated, he's driven, he's got that kind of confidence that those championship guys have, where they know they're the best even before they're the best. Everything is so sharp. His technique is flawless. His boxing is so dangerous.
As anticipation builds for the Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira fight, experts weigh in on who holds the advantage. Kamaru Usman offers his perspective, highlighting Ilia's strengths and why he believes Topuria is favored to win and become the next big contender.
Dangerous and Charles is very, very good. But I think Ilia is a favorite in that fight, and I think 100% he goes out there and he gets through Charles Oliveira, you 100%, he's next for that. But Khabib is also right.
Ilia Topuria's transformation is more than just physical, it's a statement. He's evolving into a serious threat in the lightweight division. And with Daniel Cormier raising concerns and the ongoing tension with Charles Oliveira heating up, this potential clash is shaping up to be one of the most anticipated matchups in recent memory. Whether Topuria can rise to the challenge and outclass a proven warrior like Oliveira remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure, both fighters are hungry, dangerous, and on a collision course. The countdown to this war has already begun, and the stakes couldn't be higher. What do you think? Will Ilia Topuria's new look and focused mindset be enough to take down Charles Oliveira? Or is the former champ still operating on another level when it comes to big fights? Drop your predictions and thoughts in the comments below.